so let's get into it. So why is the mind the first video in this video series? If you can't get your mind right in how you think about yourself, as well as the task at hand, then chances are you're never going to follow through and get the thing done. Before we get into exercises, before we get into what you should eat, you got to get your mind right. I believe the mind is probably the most important aspect of this entire process, no matter what it is you're trying to do, specifically to change your body to look great in the mirror or look good in the summer. Whenever I've dealt with people, I've sat down with them for at least the first few times and really figured out where they were coming from, where they are starting, because we all have to start where we are. And right now, where you are is listening to this video, looking to get some information about looking great in the mirror. That's my job, to help you get there. So bear with me here. Please, over the next few videos, we're really going to tackle a lot of stuff, but I want you to get this down. I want you to understand how important it is to get your mind right. Let's stop and think about it. Where are you right now? Where are you right now? Let's get real about it. Let's not over-exaggerate it. Okay, let's look at it for what it is, where you are, and really get a good picture. Get alone, by yourself, get in some clothes that you feel like you'd like to wear, some pants that you maybe can't fit in, or maybe just a pair of underwear. Whatever it is, look in front of the mirror. Stand there and take a look. Take a really hard look at this as if you were not yourself but somebody else. Okay? It's going to be a challenge for some of you to do just that. Just get into a bikini or some shorts or your underwear by yourself and look and see where you are at without being judgmental. It's a challenge. Most people avoid that challenge and never take the first step. This is the first step in getting your mind right, is looking at things not worse than they are, but as they are. And just get honest with yourself. And now what I want you to do is also get a notepad. Okay, we're going to call this your journal. I want you to get this out. It's for you and nobody else. It's not for your friends and family. You're not going to be telling people what you're doing. This is for you. This is your private, personal information that I want you to keep for yourself for now, because this is going to be the ship that navigates you to where you want to be. Okay, so get a pen, paper, a nice journal. They're really cheap. You can get them at the dollar store for $1. You can get a pencil anywhere. And write down, when you're looking in the mirror, what it is that you'd like to change. Start with your feet. Start there. Work your way up. Look at the legs. Look at yourself from the side. Look at yourself from behind. Look at yourself from the front, and just be honest about what it is you would like to change. You're not going to say negative things. Don't write down negative things. That's the last thing you want to do. I had a client one time that actually talked about the thing that he was trying to fix in the negative all the time. That's something you want to avoid. You want to just look at things as they are. Not better than they are, not worse than they are, just as they are. For example, this gentleman was always talking about the fact that he had a lot of fat surrounding his chest area, underneath his armpits, around his chest. He didn't like that. He hated it, but he kept bringing it up as if this was going to motivate him to get moving and make something happen. Ultimately, he didn't know how to keep his mind centered around the thing that he wanted in a positive way. It always kept setting him back. So he always was starting over again, which is great. Starting over is not a bad thing. Keeping going is not a bad thing. But running east looking for a sunset is. What I did was I took him in and I took some time with him to get his mind right. What we did with him was we said, okay, look, let's take a look at this. Take your shirt off. There's just you and me in the room here. Let's look in front of this mirror and let's look at this and make a note of what it is you're trying to do. And it was really hard for him because he was unhappy. He had a lot of emotion attached to this bad part of who he thought he was. But we had to separate that. We had to separate him from seeing himself worse than what it is. It just is what it is. And we pointed it out and we showed it to him. And after he actually saw for what it is, we could now then get past what it is. Then we could take it and focus on what it is we were trying to change. Now, to do this is really important. Before you even get started on what it is you're trying to accomplish, you want to see things for what they are. For him, we wrote down what it is he wanted to do. We didn't state it in the negative. We didn't add any emotion to it. We just wrote it down for what it was. Now, you can't spot reduce fat, but you can do is overall start losing the body fat and strengthen some areas at the same time, almost looking like you're spot reducing. But that's another subject for another time. For right now, what I want you to do is I want you to get your mind right. Seeing things for what they are, not for worse, not for better, what they are. The second thing I want you to do is to believe that it can be done. Definitely, this is an important step in getting your mind right. Having a belief system in place that it can be done. Now, we all falter when it comes to life getting in the way. Things happen. Cars break down. Kids act up. Stuff gets in the way of our goals. And our goals don't ever look like a straight line. They never do. And if you look up here, you'll see that goals don't always look like they're supposed to. We like them to be a straight line. I have an idea, I'm going to go get this idea. It's never going to work out that way. What it will be is little achievements along the way. And right now, your first step is to get your mind right. One of the things that I'm going to have you do here is assess yourself, look at what you are, and now what I want you to do, same journal, I want you to write out exactly how it will feel once you achieve that thing. Say, for example, this guy here, what we did was we had him talk out what it was he was trying to do and how it would make him feel once he got it. So we talked about this for a while. Man, what's it going to feel like? I mean, do you have any shirts that you really like to wear that you think that once you drop some of that body fat around your chest and your armpits that they're going to fit better? Or you're wearing baggier shirts now? What about a size smaller and then form-fitting? Have you ever tried doing that? Like, he used to do that when he was younger and he really liked the way it felt. So you could see where I'm going with this. He had to actually infuse emotion in the thing that he was trying to get as if he actually had it. That's a really powerful, powerful technique. And I want you to get this down out of you, write it out. It's going to take some effort here. You're not going to get a fancy exercise that's going to do it all. We're going to start from the beginning, and by the time you're done, if you take the action steps outlined in these videos, you will feel like a better version of yourself. You're going to definitely look like a greater version of yourself. And ultimately, when you feel better about yourself, you take different actions, and it just continues. Yes, we're going to have a goal here. We want to look good in the next 3 months. That's going to happen. But what I want you to first do is get to the point where you can say to yourself, yes, I'm going to do this. This is something I want to do. And then what you want to do is you want to keep visiting that in your journal daily, if you can. I mean, if it's something that you can look at, read it, that page should be your first thing that you read before you go to bed at night. If you do that, after a while you won't have to read it, you have it memorized, but that's great. What you're going to do is you're going to actually replace habits that you didn't even know you had that were probably not serving you well. So what we're going to do is just like, think of it like this. It's like building a house. Don't start out with, go to a local hardware store, I'm going to get a bunch of wood, some nails. I'm just going to start banging some stuff together. We'll plan it out here. It doesn't take much. I mean, once you get the template down, you can pretty much build anything from that, right? So we're going to give you a template here. We're going to give you an idea on how you can actually take action, take back your personal power, and actually make magic happen. Now, I'm going to recommend some videos for you. Don't judge the messenger. Just look at the message. That's the first thing. If you want to get your mind right, stop judging, stop thinking about things in that manner, and just take in what I've got to give you. You don't have to do it forever, but give me some time here. Give yourself the gift of just a little bit of time to make a change for the better. And I think that you're going to really appreciate it once it's all said and done. So there's going to be a couple of videos that I'm going to recommend. Check them out in the description below. You're also going to be able to print out a PDF for yourself to give you something to move forward with. If you're having a tough time coming up with some ideas for your journal, some ideas about how to look at your body, I'm going to step it out for you in this PDF, and I'm going to invite you to take action, because that's all what this is all about. This is all about taking tiny baby steps towards your goal so you can get it done. And what's going to happen is these baby steps are going to turn into adult steps. And these adult steps are going to turn into skipping, jumping, and probably flying towards your goal. And people are going to look at you and think, how did you do this? I'm here to help you and help yourself. And if you listen to the next few videos coming up over the course of this week, you're going to be amazed once you start implementing these strange little things that I have you do. All right? So start with the mind. Get the mind right. Tell yourself, first of all, it's possible. It is possible. Second of all, you deserve it. Third of all, look at things for what they are. Not worse, not better, but what they are. Put together a story on how it's going to make you feel once you have it. And really put some emotion to that story. So check out the PDFs, check out the videos below, and I'll see you on the next video soon. Hope this finds everybody well. We'll talk to you again soon. Peace.